Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Here we go. Cameron Dallen stepping in the box to get things started for the Fulton Fury. They are in second place, need to win this game to stay in at least second place. Cameron, first ball, ground ball at third, fielded by the third baseman. Throw over the first is in time for out number one. One pitch and one out as Cameron goes down. Hit that ball a little too hard. So with one out, that brings up Carson Race. Yep. So that ball did hit off of Cameron's foot in the batter's box as far as I saw. So that would make it a foul ball. But umpires did not see that, so that's all right. So one out, and that brings up Carson Race. On the mound for 2nd2Nunn is Blake Hanneton, I think. Now I tell you, 2nd2Nunn coming from Virginia. Oh, that ball ripped down foul first base side. This 2nd2Nunn team must be spectacular because I believe the head coach is a doctor because I could barely read his handwriting. So I think it's Blake Hanneton, number 13, is the pitcher. 0-1 is low, and then they're 1-1 on Carson Race. That one bounces and gets away. Ball two. Boy, do we wish Cameron was on base now. Two balls and one strike on Race. Earlier today, he went 2 for 2 with a single, a double, a walk, 2 stolen bases, and 3 runs scored. That is 3-1 on Carson Race. Here's a 3-1 pitch from Hanneton, and that is in there. Call strike two. Full count now on Race. There's the payoff pitch, and Carson hits a chopper down the third base line, and it's bobbled by the third baseman. He's not going to recover. Carson reaches on an E5. That brings up Brett DeGrenier. Brett was hit by a pitch and struck out twice in the last game. And that camera is frozen. Brett with a small lead off first, and he comes back. You can see Brett's lead. There's the pitch. Check swing call, strike one. Got one out, 0-1. Runner on first for Brett DeGrenier. Carson takes his lead off first. Hanneton checks the runner. There's the pitch, and that's in there. Strike two, 0-2 on DeGrenier. There's a pitch, runner goes, and it's a ball. And Brett steals second, uncontested. So runner in scoring position now for Brett. Carson, excuse me, steals second, uncontested. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that is chopped foul. I got an outfield camera too, but it is choppy as well. I think my HDMI transmitter receivers are spent. They're about a year old. I may have to replace them with the next model up. These were like $120 a piece. The next ones are $350 each, so it's quite a bit different. And then after that, I don't even know what the professional grade stuff is. I don't even know where to find it. But we'll figure it out. So 2 balls and 2 strikes on Brett DeGrenier, and that one misses outside. 3-2 with a runner in scoring position. So Carson Race on second. I should probably fill that in. There we go. Here's the payoff pitch to Brett DeGrenier. That one bounces, and Brett takes first. Runners at first and second with 1 out for the pitcher, Daniel Douglas. Now, 2nd2Nunn just lost a nail-biter of a game, 2-1. They had runners at second and third with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning and could not get a run home. Douglas showing bunt. Corners are in. There's a pitch. Douglas pulls back. Ball outside. Ball 1. 1-0 on Daniel. Swing and miss, strike 1. One ball, 1 strike on Daniel Douglas. Blake Hanneton sets himself on the mound. High leg kick pitch. Try to put some spin on it. Breaking pitch didn't break enough. 2-1. 1 out, runners at first and second. 2 balls, 1 strike on Daniel Douglas. Hanneton deals, and Douglas fouls that off his ankle. Down he goes. Like a slow tree falling in the forest with nobody around, he makes no sound. He's going to walk that one off. Umpire walked the ball out. He's going to clean home plate off and do his best to allow Daniel to recover. So these umpires, seen them all day long. 3rd game in a row. I've watched these umpires. The home plate umpire was the field umpire for the last 2 games. Field umpire was the home plate umpire for the last 2 games. 2 absolute gentlemen. Real proponents of the baseball game. I've only saw them make 1 error, 1 thing that I would consider an error. Everything else has been pretty even, very consistent. Here's the payoff pitch to Daniel. And that one's low, ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Caleb Robert. So time is called as Tommy Caffey goes out to speak to Blake Henderson. Now, since Daniel is the pitcher, he gets a courtesy runner, and the only person to make it out so far is Cameron Dalin. So here's Dalin at first for Daniel Douglas. I know it hit your foot. Oh, yeah. I don't know why you even ran to first. Hey, Dalin. That pitch up and in on Caleb, ball 1. Yes, you can, Cameron. That ball's popped up. Third base, looking for it, can't find it in the sun. Now he gets it, and that's out number 2. So now with 2 outs and the bases loaded, here's Lucas Resigno. First pitch to Lucas in there, call, strike one. Wouldn't it be something if Carson Ray stole home? He would need a bigger lead, that's for sure. Here's the 0-1, low, 1-1 on Lucas. That pitch is low to Lucas, 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2nd2Nunn coming from the Commonwealth of Virginia. That pitch low and inside, 3-1 on Lucas. Lucas ought to put this bat in the dugout because he's not going to swing with a 3-1, bases loaded and 2 outs. Nothing good can come of that. Called strike 2. All right, now Lucas has to protect. His job is to get one through the infield. Here's the pitch. And Lucas fouls that down the third base line. We'll do the 3-2 pitch again. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded for Fulton Fury and Lucas Resigno. And Lucas hits this one up, out into left field. Left fielder going over, can't get there in time. It's another foul ball for Lucas Resigno. So Lucas got underneath that one. He really wants to try driving the ball. Hit it on its backside, line drive. As it dunks in short in the outfield, it would score potentially 3 runs. So pitch, Lucas pops this one up. That goes back behind the net and behind the plate and out of play. All Lucas needs is a line drive. Here's the payoff pitch from Blake Hanneton. And Lucas, another one in the air. It's in foul territory, and nobody's going to get to that one. Lucas staying alive. Well, the more pitches you see, the more it favors the batter. So let's see if that holds true for young Lucas. Payoff pitch again from Hanneton. And it's low and outside, ball 4. And that is a run for and an RBI for Lucas. We'll bring up Brandon Birch. He had an RBI, 2 walks, and a ground out last game. Pitch misses, ball 1. Two outs. Caleb Robert on first for Lucas. He's the catcher. He's got to get his gear on. Dan-Dalin at second for Douglas, who's the pitcher. Wow, and that was another slow breaking ball that did not break. Almost hit Brandon in the head. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Blake Hanneton set on the mound and deals low 3-0. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And bounces, gets away, ball 4. 1 run comes in. Dalin's going to round third and try to be a pest. And it is 2-0 Fulton Fury. Bases loaded for Keegan Ewald. First pitch to Keegan in there for a strike. Keegan pitched a complete game last game, had 2 groundouts. So not a big deal. His job last game was to pitch, and he did that. He had a complete game shutout, 5-inning complete game. 9-0 was that victory. Here's the pitch to Keegan. Inside, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ewald. Brandon Birch leading off of first base with his entire wardrobe in his hand, it looks like. Here's the 1-1 to Keegan from Blake Hannington. And he hits this one, punches this to second base, fielded at second, throw to first in time for out number 3. So that'll do it. But in the top half of the first inning, the Fulton Fury pick up 2 runs. They lead 2-0. And 2nd2Nunn is coming up. It'll be James Michaels, Ian Davies, Blake Hannington in the bottom of the first inning. All right, warm-ups are done. In steps James Michaels to the plate. He's the starting shortstop for 2nd2Nunn. First pitch from Douglas just misses low, ball 1. It's like it broke a little more than Daniel thought it would. He put a little more power behind that to let it carry all the way into the strike zone. Here's a 1-0, and there's more power. Pop straight up. Lucas going over underneath it, makes the catch for out number 1. So with 1 out, that'll bring up center fielder Ian Davies. Now remember, if you subscribe, then you can chat and you can correct me on these names. I did my best. The good doctor, though, who's the coach of these 2nd2Nunn, his handwriting is like a doctor's. First pitch to Ian. Oh, check swing. Ground ball to Douglas. Throw over to first is in time for out number 2. So 2nd2Nunn, not afraid to swing the bat. I mean, and that is good. You like to see a good aggressive team at the plate. Here's the pitcher, Blake Hannington, number 13, facing off against number 13. How interesting is that? Wonder how often that's happened. And there's a line drive, and that one gets through. It's a 2-out single. No, throw to first. Oh, just wide for Brett. Goes all the way home as backing up was Lucas. Couldn't get to it in time. And Hannington gets himself to second. It's going to be a single, and he's going to take second on the throw. Even though if that throw from right field was in online, it would have been an out. Yeah, you can't give an error to an outfielder for not making a play at first. That's ridiculous. So with 2 outs and a runner on second, Ian Davies goes in to run for Blake Hannington, the pitcher. Here's second baseman Devin Breeden, number 23. The pitch from Daniel Douglas. Check back over to second, throw. Not in time. So Douglas really just needs to focus on the batter. That pitch is outside, ball 1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first with a runner at second. That runner really should be of no consequence. You just got to focus on getting the batter out. Here's the 1-0 pitch. High, 2-0. Good thing Lucas grew over the winner, otherwise that ball would have sailed to the backstop. Here comes Brett Williams to be the first base coach. Here's the 2-0. Check swing, 3-0. With 2 outs, Devin ought to just put this bat down, maybe hide it behind the umpire. He has no business swinging. I don't care if Daniel throws underhand. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And Devin watches strike 1 go by. Now with the 3-1 count, Devin's still in control here. Runner on second, 2 outs. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And it hit him. Runners at first and second. That'll bring up Wyatt Allen, an extra hitter, double zeros. He's got his oven mitt in his back pocket so he can make cookies if he gets to first base. And it's feeling hot enough that we could bake a set of cookies right here on the sidewalk if we wanted to. There's a pitch. It's a ball, and Lucas can't find it. Everybody moves up a base. Second and third now with 2 outs, 1 ball, no strike for Wyatt Allen. Daniel did great against the first 2 batters. Then he gave up a hit, and then he had a... There's a strike as that one catches the corner. Here's the 1-1. Throw back to second. Is he in time? Oh! Sorry, the guy that counts says he was safe. Umpire called timeout. Devin Breeden at second base. A little shaken up because he got thrown out, but the umpire said he's safe, so that's all right. Awkward dive back, and the tag applied in the middle of his back, almost hard enough to stop him like in the road like a turtle. But he made it, and he's going to be all right. Tough kid out there, number 23. Now, 1 ball, 1 strike on Wyatt Allen. Let's turn our attention, as Daniel should, on the batter. And that one bounces, ball 2. Nice face ball by Lucas Resigno to keep that ball in front of him. Coach says keep the eye on the ball, and Lucas certainly did. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Wyatt Allen. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. 2nd2Nunn trails 2-0. Pitch from Douglas, swung on, foul ball. Strike 2. Nice aggressive swing by Wyatt Allen. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Daniel. The heater's high, ball 3. Now that's a riser. Oh, wait, this isn't softball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. First base is open. 2-strike pitch. Swung on, hard ground ball to short. And everybody's going to be safe. I'd consider that a hit, no? Don't you think? Or error? What do you think, Brett? Error? All right. So Wyatt Allen reaches on an E6. And it is 2-1. Wild pitch, Colt, and that's going to allow Devin Breeden to score. And it's a tie ball game. Whoops. So Wyatt Allen on second. 1-0. Or no, I'm sorry. Oh, and wait a minute. 1-2 on Wyatt. Cole. Cole. That one is tipped back into the glove. I'm not sure what the count is here. I think it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Check swing. Oh, ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Is it Cole or Colt? Colt. Okay. 2 balls and 1 strike on Colt. Douglas deals. There's a curveball in there. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. 2-2 ball game here in the bottom of the first inning. That ball is punched. Fielded at second. Oh, no! E4. Colt reaches on an error by our second baseman, Brendan Birch. Coach King coming out to settle down Daniel. That's one thing. Daniel can get rattled. He's a decent pitcher, no doubt about it. But yeah, easily rattled. And it's reining him in and controlling those emotions. But nope, looks like he may be somewhat injured, or Coach King saw something. Out comes Daniel. An early exit for Daniel Douglas. I'm sure he's not happy about that, but he's still the cleanup hitter. So Carson Race is going to come in to pitch, the lefty. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. Those runners are Daniel Douglas's responsibility.
If it actually was a bad, we can put some ice in. Because Daniel fouled the ball off his ankle earlier. That's why you couldn't. That's why he didn't run all the way. Couldn't.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Yeah. We'll just give him back.
Good Matt.
I'll go. Yeah. It's able to just swallow his left shoe.
Okay. All right. So, word from Bailey Dallin, one of the bench coaches for the Fury. Daniel took that when he was at bat. He fouled that ball off his ankle, and his ankle is swollen. And that was his plant foot. So, uh, that's really what he's upset about. That plant foot is swelling, and with that pain, it's very difficult to pitch, obviously. So runners at the corners for Adam Urbano. Wait, Urbano? Or something. What is it? Urbano. All right, Urbano. Pitch from Race. Misses inside, surprisingly. Ball 1. Yeah, again, the 2nd2Nunn coach, I think, is a doctor. His handwriting, very difficult to read. 1-0 from Race is popped up. Left field. It's playable. No, it's not. Catches off the top of the fence and goes out of play. Strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Adam Urbano. Here's the 1-1. Race deals high and outside. 2-1. Colt Loving's got that oven mitt on at first base with second base open. Still hasn't tried to steal yet. Come on, Colt. Here's the 2-1. Low. Check swing. Do we appeal? 3-1. He did not go, so appealing wouldn't do any good. Here's the 3-1 from Carson Race. Ball's popped straight up. Nope. Shortstop calls for it. Makes the grab. And that's Caleb Robert playing shortstop, making that third and final out. So after 1 inning of play, it is tied at 2. Coming up in the top of the 2nd inning for the Fury, it is Connor Hansen, Ethan Gregory, Colton Winslow, and then top of the order, Dallin Race to Grenier and Douglas, if he's going to be able to continue to play.
Are you on the air?
I am, but I am. Right. Here we go. Blake Hanneton back on the mound. New first baseman for 2nd2Nunn is number 99, Hunter Hux. First pitch in the dirt, ball one on Connor. 2-2 tie, top of the second inning. It's like we're starting all over again. That pitch swung on, ground ball to third, and it gets bobbled. That's going to be an E5, safe at first.
Yes, sir.
Let's get started loading up.
So Hanson hustling that out, making them pay for the error. And that'll bring up Colton Winslow. Pitch is a ball, goes in the dirt, and that's going to allow Hanson to take second. That's in there for a strike. So originally, Ethan Gregory was going to bat before Colton, but since he hadn't come up to bat yet, Coach King has pulled Gregory, and I think he's going to replace Daniel Douglas as an entry. Here's a ground ball of first, and coming over to make the play is Hunter Hawks. So now with one out and a runner on second, here's Cameron Dallin. Dallin pops another one up down the left field line, and that's going to be out of play, strike one. Dallin has no business hitting balls in the air. With nobody on first, Oh, I missed it when Hanson advanced to third. Dallin watches strike two go by. That was on the outside edge of the plate. He probably would have hit that one down the third base line, which would have been a beauty for him. But no balls and two strikes on Dallin. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And he swings, pops this one up. Catcher looking for it. That's going to go out of play behind the Fury dugout. So no balls and two strikes, one out, runner on third for the Fury. Dallin at the plate. Blake Hanniton gets set on the mound and deals. Dallin swings late. That one bounces off the back fence. Again, Cameron's hitting underneath the ball. He really needs to be hitting on top of it. That one's low, ball one. One ball, two strikes with one out and a runner on third for Cameron Dallin. Here's the 1-2. Cameron lunges to stay alive. Do the 1-2 pitch again. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And Cameron chops this one foul, third base side. Boo! Coach misses that one. Here's the 1-2 again. Low, 2-2.
Back, Dad.
Ball gets away from the pitcher, but not far enough. Hustling in real quickly to pick that ball up is the shortstop. James Michaels. Hannington deals the 2-2. That's high, 3-2. And Cameron has worked himself back to a full count. First base is open and has Cameron's name written all over it. Blake Hannington deals, and that one's low. Ball 4. Cameron hustles his way down to first base. For some reason, Cameron just stopped at first base when he got walked. Not sure what that's all about. That'll bring up Carson Race. Hannington checks the runner, and there goes Dalin. First pitch in there for a strike. No throw by the catcher. Stolen base, Cameron Dalin. That's what he does. That's his job. So runners at second and third, and one strike on Carson Race. Carson's job was to not swing at anything on that one so Cameron can get to second. That pitch misses outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Here in the top of the second inning, Fulton Fury win this, and they are guaranteed to be in the championship game tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. Lose this, and I think they're still in it. Big swing and a miss by Carson as Hannington took a lot off of that one. That may have been his knuckleball attempt. Here's the 1-2 to Race. And Hannington steps off, asks for time, and wants to talk to the catcher. All right, so we are back, and I'm sorry, you just missed a 1-out, 2 RBI single by Brett DeGrenier. Went right down the third base line into the outfield. Ball was thrown in as Cameron was almost home, and it got misplayed halfway between third base and home by Adam Urbano, the third baseman, but he would not have gotten Cameron anyway. So it looks like we're getting a new pitcher for 2nd2Nunn. Number 00, Wyatt Allen. And this is Wyatt Allen of Virginia, not Wyatt Allen of Parrish, New York.
Hey, you guys know about the Dan-Dalin show? Well, I'm here to know. How long will you get as a good game? Even if he doesn't, you can watch it back. Yeah, it's pretty fun. That's just pretty cool. It's on YouTube. Okay. What's it now? It's under a positive influence?
Yeah. If you search a positive influence, you'll see it there. It's filled with sports, and soon it'll have some motivational speaking on it because I'm going to start doing keynote speeches.
Nice. I need a little bit of, especially Monday morning.
Right?
Guess in 20 years, I'm not sure.
All right, here we go. Wyatt Allen is ready. Ethan Gregory at the plate. He's in for Daniel Douglas after Daniel's injury to his ankle. First pitch is called, strike 1. There is 1 out, runners at first and second after DeGrenier's 2 RBI single. Fury leads 4-2. That ball fouled off. 0-2 now. 1 out. That pitch high, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now, also starting live on this channel is the CNY Monsters 14U softball team is in a 16U tournament in Sandusky, Ohio, and they are starting off against Oil Valley Lightning's 16U team. They are 1-0 already for the weekend. That is a very tight 14U team. That ball swung on, ground ball to third, steps on third for one, throw to second, first goes away, gets thrown away. Brett DeGrenier, he's going to go to third, and Ethan Gregory's going to go to second. So 2 outs. That was a fielder's choice. 5 unassisted for out number 2. So that'll bring up Caleb Robert to the plate. Caleb popped out to third his first at-bat. Here he is with runners at second and third, 2 outs. 2 runs in, first pitch high, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on Caleb Robert.
Come on, Caleb, get him in. Why? No, that was it. Hey, thanks to umpire designation. So what? Come on, double up.
1-0 from Wyatt. It's popped up, and that's back and out of play. And that is the first ball of the day to land on the roof of the grandstand back there, believe it or not. 1 ball and 1 strike. All the others have gone over or next to it. That's the first one to land on top. Very surprised by that. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Wyatt Allen sets himself on the mound, deals to Caleb Robert, called strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs and runners on second and third. Third base has Brett DeGrenier, who's sitting there with 2 RBIs to his credit. At second base, Ethan Gregory, who reached on a fielder's choice. That pitch low and in the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Here in the second inning, and the Fury lead by 2. That pitch low and in the dirt, 3-2. Here's the pitch from Allen, and that is fouled off. Heads up. Well, that's going towards a pickup truck. Oh, just misses the hood on the bounce. So here's the 3-2 pitch again. Payoff pitch from Wyatt Allen. Swung on, drill, left field, foul. Way out of play. And if Caleb Robert could straighten that out, he would be out. Here's the payoff pitch from Allen again. Another foul ball. This one's heading to my car. No, it's not. It missed it. We're all right. It's actually not my car. It's my mom's car. Hi, Mom. If you're watching, your car is relatively safe. Let's say marginally safe. You know what? It hasn't been hit yet. Good enough. Payoff pitch again. High and inside. Ball 4. And the bases are loaded for Lucas Resigno, who now has to take off his shin guards so he can bat. It's a hard knock life being a catcher. He should leave the shin guards on. It's not like it's going to slow him down if he runs. So 2 out, bases loaded, 2 runs in here in the second for Lucas Resigno. First pitch bounces and hits the umpire in the face. Ball 1. Hey, Al, 2 outs. Here's the 1-0 from Wyatt. Low, 2-0. Lucas was walked in the first inning with the bases loaded. He has an RBI to his credit. He got as far as second base before the inning ended. Here it is, 2-0, and he's got another chance for an RBI. That one bounces and gets away, ball 3. And coming in to score, Brett DeGrenier. Ball rolls up towards the pitcher's mound. So DeGrenier scores. It's an RBI for Lucas. Ethan goes to second, and goes to third. Caleb Robert goes to second. It is 3-0 for Lucas Resigno. Well, yeah. That pitch is in there. Call strike one. 3-1 on Lucas. 3-1 pitch, low, ball 4. Lucas works a walk. So bases loaded for Brandon Birch. Birch got an RBI walk back in the first inning. And Birch hits this one, picks this one up into center field. Center fielder comes in and makes the grab for out number 3. But the Fury pick up 3 runs in the second inning. And after an inning and a half, they lead by a score of 5-2. Coming up in the bottom of the second inning for 2nd2Nunn, it is the 8, 9, 10 batters. Tanner Ackers, Hunter Hooks, and Tommy Caffey coming up, followed by Nate O'Brien, Brett Williams, and the top of the order. And our first pitch from Carson Race is a strike to Tanner Ackers. 0-1 inside, 1-1. James Michaels coming over to do first base coaching duties. That is 1-2 on Ackers. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Tanner. Swung on, ground ball, third base side, foul, and coach with his soccer skills, not as good as his doctor skills. Stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. That 1-2 pitch is high, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 from Carson. And ball is ripped foul, third base side. Here's the 2-2 from Carson. Low and inside, 3-2. Tanner Ackers has worked his way back to a full count. And that pitch just misses inside, ball 4. And Ackers has a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the second inning. That'll bring up number 99, Hunter Hawks. A little bit shorter than the 6'7", 99 I'm familiar with. That's in there, strike 1. Swung on, hit into center field, a little blooper. Dan-Dalin fields it and throws this ball in, and it's runners at first and second after that single by Hunter Hawks. So 2 on and no outs for Tommy Cathy, the catcher. The coach is going to come out and talk to Carson. I think Carson is done. And he is. Carson is pitching with an injury. So coming into pitch is Connor Hansen. He's going to come in with runners at first and second and no outs. I don't think so. They said you. County playoff league. I don't know. They said it used to be called the Field of Dreams. I don't know. All right, here we go. Connor Hansen, all warmed up. First pitch in there, called strike 1. Runners at first and second and no outs for Hansen. He inherits those 2 runners. This is Tommy Cathy at the plate. Catcher. Throw over to second, and they got him. It's a pickle! And now throw to second. Into the double play! What a pickle move! Oh, you know what? I have no idea how those outs went. It was 1, 4, 5, 6, 1, 4, 6. That's in there for a call, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs with the pickoff double play. And there's a ground ball to third, fielded cleanly at third. Throw over to first. Nice stretch by Brett DeGrenier for out number 3. And in the most awkward way possible, it's a 1-2-3 inning for 2nd2Nunn. After 2 innings of play, the Fulton Fury lead by a score of 5-2. Coming up in the top of the third inning, it is Keegan Ewald, Connor Hansen, and Colton Winslow, followed by the top of the order, Cameron Dallin, Colton Race, and Brett DeGrenier. All right, here we go. Back on the mound, Wyatt Allen stepping up to the plate is Keegan Ewald. First pitch, fouled straight back, strike 1. The 0-1 on Keegan. That's in there. Call strike 2. Here's the 0-2 from Wyatt. That one's low and inside. Ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Keegan Ewald. There's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Great piece of pitching by Wyatt Allen to get the first out of the top of the third inning. So that'll bring up Connor Hansen, the current pitcher for the Fury. That one goes right at his head. He ducks out of the way. Ball 1. The 1-0 up and in again. 2-0. Wyatt Allen, a right-handed pitcher, looks like he's trying to start something up and in that bends back down into the strike zone, but it's not making that break. That one just sails right in over the middle. Strike one. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, maybe he was just setting them up with high pitches that were balls to come in with one low one. That's a strike. 2-1 in there. Another low pitch. Strike number 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Perhaps Wyatt Allen does know what he's doing. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Wyatt to Connor. And swing and a miss. Strike 3. Back-to-back swinging strikeouts for Wyatt Allen. And those are the first 2 strikeouts for Wyatt and 2nd2Nunn. That brings up Colton Winslow, the lefty. Pitch way outside, ball 1. Nice lunging grab behind the dish by Ian Davies. Here's the 1-0 from Wyatt Allen. High and outside, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 to Winslow. Swing and a miss, 2-1. That was a strike. Nice pitch by Wyatt Allen. And 2-1 misses, 3-1 for Colton Winslow. See Colton's dad there leaning on the dugout. And that pitch outside, ball 4. And Colton works himself a 2-out walk. That brings up Cameron Dalin at the top of the order for the Fury. Cameron grounded out to third, walked, stole a base, and came around to score. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. There's the 0-1. That is popped up. And Cameron hits a deep 70-footer for out number 3. After 2.5, no runs that inning for the Fury. After 2.5 innings of play, they lead 5-2. Coming up in the bottom of the 3rd inning, it's Nate O'Brien, Brett Williams, and then the top of the order, James Michaels and Ian Davies for 2nd2Nunn. All right, warm-ups are done. Connor Hansen back on the mound. Stepping up to the plate, number 42, Nate O'Brien. Hansen sets and deals. That's strike 1 on O'Brien. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on O'Brien. Here's the 0-2 from Hansen. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes the Irishman. So now with 1 out, that brings up Brett Williams. His first at-bat of the game. First pitch from Hansen, low, ball 1. Oh, a slow swing, strike 1. Williams was ahead of that one, tried to slow it down, could not. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brett. Here's the pitch from Connor. That one's high, 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Two balls and 2 strikes on Williams. Hansen deals check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Ball 3, 3-2 on Williams. There's the payoff pitch, and that one's in the dirt, ball 4, and Williams works himself a 1-out walk. So now with 1 out and 1 on, we go to the top of the order. Here's James Michaels. He popped out to Lucas behind the plate, his first plate appearance. Williams with a short lead off first. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. Williams decides to get rid of the batting gloves. Hansen looks over his right shoulder, now deals home, low, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike on James Michaels. Nate O'Brien coming out to base coach. Safe at first is Williams. Hansen keeping an eye on Williams. 1-1 pitch. And that hit him. And so James Michaels reaches the hard way. So runners at first and second with 1 out for Ian Davies. Ian grounded out to the pitcher his first at-bat. There's a ground ball to short and not able to be played. And it's going to be bases loaded. I'm going to give Davies an infield hit on that one. That was a very difficult play for Caleb Robert, ranging all the way to his right. So now with 1 out and the bases loaded, we've got Blake Henneton up at bat. First pitch fouled off, out of play, strike 1. Oh, that almost landed in the bed of a pickup truck. Chevy couldn't catch, though. So Blake got a single and came around to score the first run of the game for 2nd2Nunn back in the first inning. Stepping off, throwback over to second, and it's another pickle And coming home, Williams is out. No throw to third. So the runners advance, and the Fury pick up another out. So that goes 2-6-2 for out number 2. Runners at second and third now for Blake Hannington. 0-1 with 2 outs. That one's fouled off. 0-2 with 2 outs. Connor Hansen with a great move to second. It's the second time he's been able to pick off somebody. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Hannington. Swung on. Ground ball is short. Fielded at short. Throw over to first is in time for out number 3. So no runs because of the force out. And after 3 innings of play, it is 5-2 in favor of the Fury. Coming up in the top of the 4th inning for Fulton, it is Carson Race, Brett DeGrenier, Ethan Gregory, Caleb Robert, and Lucas Resigno. All right, here it is, top of the 4th inning. Wyatt Allen returning back to the pitcher's mound. And here's Carson Race stepping up to the plate. Race reached on an error and walked almost. Oh, he did get hit. He got hit. So it's the 3rd time Race has made it to first, and he still doesn't have an official at-bat. That brings up Brett DeGrenier to the plate. Brett's got a walk, a single, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. Pitch high, ball 1. There we go. Here's Race with his leadoff first. Allen checks the runner. Throws over to first. Carson dives back in time, safe at first. Ball goes back to Wyatt Allen on the mound. Here's the pitch home, swung on, grounded foul, strike 1. That ball was way low, it was most likely a ball. 1-1 on Brett DeGrenier. Oh, and that hit him right in the middle of the back. Runners at first and second. And that brings up Ethan Gregory. Gregory walked and reached on a fielder's choice. Coach wants to have a talk with him, and looks like the catcher, Tommy Caffey, I want to have a quick talk with Wyatt. So no outs, runners at first and second for Ethan Gregory. Pitch from Wyatt Allen, swing and a miss, strike one. Here's the 0-1 from Wyatt. Another swing and a miss at a high one, strike two. Swing and a miss, strike three. So Ethan Gregory swings at 3 straight balls for out number 1. That'll bring up Caleb Robert to the plate. Robert popped out to third and walked. Made it as far as second base. First pitch, foul, fielded cleanly by the coach at third. Strike one. No balls and 1 strike on Caleb Robert. Wyatt Allen sets and deals. That pitch is low and outside, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 runners on. Pitch to Caleb, inside, ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 2-1. Inside, 3-1. Three balls and 1 strike. Runners at first and second, 1 out, near the fourth. And that is strike 2. Caleb was taking all the way. So now Caleb with a full count. And he drills this one to second. Oh, it's bobbled by the second baseman. Coming around to score is Carson Race. Throw home, not in time. And Robert reaches on an E4, so no RBI. DeGrenier goes to second, and Carson Race comes in to score. And it's now 6-2 in favor of the Fury, and that'll bring up Lucas Resigno with 1 out. Lucas has 2 walks and 2 RBIs. If he wants an RBI now, he's going to have to get a hit. Time called by the umpire. Wyatt Allen staring down Brett DeGrenier at second. Brett goes back to second. Here's the pitch, and it hit him. So Resigno hit by a pitch, and the bases are loaded for Brandon Birch. Now, Birch walked and popped out to center and picked up an RBI on that walk. Another pop out to center would get him another RBI. Going to get a runner for the catcher. This should be Ethan Gregory coming in to run for Lucas. First pitch is high, ball 1. One out here in the top of the 4th inning. Bases loaded. That pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out on Brandon Birch. Allen Throws that one inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 2-1 from Allen. That's in there. Call strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now with 1 out. Bases loaded for the Fury. Pitch from Wyatt. In there. Call strike 3. Great bit of pitching by Wyatt Allen. And that's 2 strikes. 2 outs. Both outs on strikeouts. That'll bring up Keegan Ewald to the plate. Keegan struck out and grounded out. 0 for 2. First pitch to him called strike 1. And Keegan fouls out one back. 0 and 2. So Wyatt Allen in a pretty good position for the 2nd2Nunns. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And it's fouled off by Keegan. There go the runners. Pitch inside, ball 1. And runners come back. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ewald. 2 outs. Top of the 4th, bases loaded. And that ball is drilled into right field, and that is fielded by the right fielder. He's going to throw that into home. And 2 runs scored. It's a 2 RBI single for Keegan Ewald. And we got runners at the corners for Connor Hansen with 2 outs and an 8-2 lead here in the 4th inning. Throw over to first, and Ewald is back inside. That ball popped up, and that is not catchable. Stays 1 ball and 2 strikes for Connor Hansen. Wyatt Allen deals home. Swung on, and this is hit to right field, and nice grab in right field by O'Brien. So the Fury pick up 3 runs that inning. After 3.5, they lead 8-2. Coming up in the bottom of the 4th inning for 2nd2Nunn, it is their 4, 5, 6 batters: Devin Breeden, Wyatt Allen, and Colt Loving. right, warm-ups are done. Here is Devin Breeden. First pitch, check swing. Grounder to the pitcher and throw over to Brett in time. 1-3 goes at putout for out number 1. Devin ought to stay there and be the first base coach, no? Next batter is Wyatt Allen, the current pitcher. And he hits his first one, fly ball into right field. And making the catch is Fulton. And there's 2 outs. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Next up, Colt Loving. That is strike 1. The 0-1 to Colt. That one bounces. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Loving. Oh, 2 balls, he says. I thought that was a swing on the first one. My bad. Oh, 1-1. Who knows? And it is 3-0. I guess Lucas didn't realize that first one was called a ball. He would have appealed. I think he swung. There's a strike. I don't know if it's 2-2 or 3-1. We'll find out shortly. No, we won't. Ground ball is short. Fielded at short, throw to first, not in time. Safe at first base is, I'm sorry, that's, Colt Loving with 2 outs. Great piece of running by Colt to get that infield single. That'll bring up Adam Urbano. Urbano popped out to shortstop, his first at-bat. First pitch high, ball 1. That's in there, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Urbano. Throw over to first. Goes into the outfield. That's going to allow Loving. Here's the 1-1 to Urbano. That's called strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner on second. Connor has his sign. Deals one high and inside, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 to Adam. Swing and a miss, strike 3. After 4 innings of play, it is 8-2 Fury coming up to bat in the top of the 5th inning. It is Colton Winslow, Cameron Dallin, Carson Race, Brett DeGrenier, and Ethan Gregory, excuse me. All right, Wyatt Allen returns to the mound. First pitch to Winslow, swing and a miss, strike one. Top of the 5th inning. If the Fury can pick up 2 and hold 2nd2Nunn in the bottom half, then they will win by run rule. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fulton grounded out to first and reached on a walk. That one's low. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Winslow goes down swinging for out number 1. And that'll bring up Dan-Dalin, who's 0 for 2 with a ground out to third, a pop out to third, and he reached on a walk, stole a base, and came around to score. Allen deals. Cameron holds off, and that's ball 1. And that one hit him. So Dalin gets hit by the pitch, so he can't advance to second. That'll bring up Carson Race with 1 out and 1 on. Throw back to first. Dalin is back standing. Allen checks the runner. Dalin back again. This time he dives. Here's a pitch home. Dalin goes to second. And the throw is way short. Dalin in there with ease. So runner on second now, 1 and 0 for Carson Race. Time called by the umpire. One ball, no strikes on Carson Race. Dalin at second, throw back to second. Dalin back in time. There's a pitch, and that is a strike to Carson Race. Oh, no, it's not. It was outside, 2 and 0. All right. I can't tell inside from outside from over here. Allen deals 2-0. That's go call, strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now, see, that one looked inside to me, but again, I'm in the worst possible position to tell inside from outside. 2 balls and 1 strike on Race. Dalin at second, 1 out. That's in there. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carson reached on an error, walked, and was hit by a pitch, has a stolen base, and 2 runs scored. Swings and misses. Ball comes out. Ball is dropped. Ball is dropped, and Carson Race does not care. Cameron Dalin goes to third. Nice heads-up base running by Dalin as Race strikes out. So 2 outs and a runner on third for Brett DeGrenier. Brett is walked, hit by a pitch, scored 3 times, has a single and 2 RBIs. Big swing and a miss at a high one, strike 1. Sure would be sweet to see Dalin steal home. Oh, thought that was a balk, but the umpire went away. Timeout called. Here's the 0-1. Low 1-1. Here's the 1-1, and that is lifted out into center field. That's high, it's back, it's over the head. Dalin scores with ease. DeGrenier rounds first. He's going to go to second as the throw comes in. It is an RBI double for Brett DeGrenier. It is now 9-2 with 2 outs and a runner on second for Ethan Gregory. Ethan has walked, reached on a fielder's choice, and struck out swinging. First pitch low and in the dirt, ball 1. That one is fouled back. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs for Ethan Gregory. Pitch is high, 2-1. Check swing, ball, 3-1 on Ethan. That's called strike 2. Oh, strike 3. I missed one. Who knew? So Ethan Gregory goes down looking for out number 3. The Fury pick up 1, and after 4.5 innings of play, they lead 9-2. Coming up in the bottom of the 5th inning, it is the 8, 9, 10 batters for 2nd2Nunn. Tanner Ackers, Hunter Hucks, Tommy Caffey, Nate O'Brien, and Brett Williams. All right, warm-ups are done. Connor Hansen back on the mound for the Fury. It's his 3rd inning of work. First pitch in there, strike 1 called on Tanner Ackers. Ackers walked in his first plate appearance and was picked off at going to 3rd, or leading off 2nd, really. That ball, ground ball to 3rd, and that gets by the Fury's 3rd baseman, Keegan Ewald. So it's a leadoff single for Tanner Ackers. That'll bring up Hunter Hucks. He has a single to his name as well. Although he's the other base runner that got thrown out in that pickoff double play. First pitch misses, ball one. James Michaels out here to first base coach for Tanner Ackers. Just here to pick up Tanner's clothes. Hansen looks over at first. Now he deals home. Pitches outside, ball two. 2 balls and no strikes or 1 strike? Three balls on Hunter. I guess it's 3-0. That's ball 4. Runners at first and second. I'm going to bring up Tommy Caffey. He grounded out to third in his first plate appearance. Connor checks the runner second, throw over to first. Almost, but not in time. So no outs, runners at first and second for Tommy Caffey. Tommy hits this one. Oh, nice grab at third. Throw to second. Hits the runner. Oh. Good job by Tanner Ackers being big. His butt saved him on that one. And there's 1 out. So with 1 out, that brings up Nate O'Brien, the right fielder. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Nate struck out swinging the last time he faced Connor. Yeah, get Urbano out here. There's a chopper. Fielded by Connor. Oh, he can't grab that ball. I'm going to say E1. Bases loaded with 1 out for Brett Williams. Wow, I hit him in the helmet. You all right, Brett? You don't need that for another month anyway, right? So Tanner Acker's coming out to first base coach. Coach coming out here to get some water for Connor Hansen. Calm him down after he hit Brett Williams in the left ear. Good thing for helmets. 9-3 is the score. 1 out, bases loaded. All right, Hansen's rehydrated. James Michaels steps up to the plate. First pitch high, ball one. Bases loaded, nowhere to put Michaels. Michaels popped out to the catcher and was hit by a pitch. 0 for 1 on the day. Well, in the game. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Michaels. Here's the 1-1 from counter. Nope. Throw back to second. Tag not applied. Throw was in time, but it was low and in the dirt. A little too difficult for Caleb Robert to pick it. And a pitch outside, ball 2. 2-1 on Jamie Michaels. That one's low. 3-1. Yep. 9-3. Hey, Don. It's 9-3. That ball's popped up. Resigno going back and catches Michaels out again for the second time this game. And there are 2 outs. So with 2 outs and the bases loaded, here's Ian Davies. He's grounded out to the pitcher and hit a single. He's made it as far as second base. I pitched low and in the dirt, ball 1. You got Williams on first, Nate O'Brien on second, Hunter Hawks on third. Tanner Ackers has already scored as he coaches first base. Davies up at the plate with 2 outs and the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Throw over to third. Not in time as Hawks dives back in time. If we've learned anything, it's that Connor Hansen has a great move to every base. Throw home is popped up and out of play. Strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ian Davies. 2nd2Nunn not given up yet. They are battling. 2 outs here in the 5th. Now, at least another at-bat. At least one more at-bat. That's... Oh, misses. Ball 2. 2-1. Hansen deals high. 3-1. So no place to put Ian. Tanner Ackers wants to do anything to get out of coaching first base. Call it like I see it. That's all. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Connor. That's in there. Call strike 2. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners will be going on the pitch. Here go the runners. This ball is sent out to center field. Cameron Dallin camps underneath it and makes the catch for out number 3. So 2nd2Nunn pick up a run. They're staying alive. After 5 innings of play, it is 9-3 in favor of the Fury. Oh, we're done? We're done. Never mind. This one ends in a 9-3 victory in 5 innings for the Fulton Fury. Apparently, they finish in second place somehow, and they will play tomorrow in the championship at 1:30 p.m. You can find that game live here on the Dan-Dalin, A Positive Influence. From East Prospect Field in East Prospect, Pennsylvania, I am the Dan-Dalin, A Positive Influence, reminding you, don't wait for it to be a good day. Make it a great day, everyone.